Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of We Believe, Do You, a paranormal podcast. Eric, you noticed that there wasn't a the before that?
No, you did say it, and you
I
also
did
said
not.
yeah, you did.
I did not.
Yeah, you'll catch it.
No,
Yeah.
hold on. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of We Believe, Do You, a paranormal podcast.
See, now that's cheating because you just
I'm
did
Michelle.
it. And I'm Eric.
I swear I didn't. Or maybe I just had it in my head like, don't say the.
This is how you said it. You said, "Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of And then you said you barely said it because you were trying not to say it, and then you said, "We believe you," and then a paranormal podcast.
I said the TH.
Yeah.
And then stopped.
That's exactly how you said it.
Or maybe I laughed. I think that was the laugh. I think you're lying. Whatever.
Well, you'll hear it back in recording.
We'll see.
Or
Maybe I might just cut it out. Oh, guess what? We moved into, well, I guess these episodes are going to be kind of out of order because when we get to, 2 episodes later, I'm going to have just moved into the apartment.
Yeah.
But I've already been here a week and still recording in the closet, guys.
Hey, whatever works, man.
I was kind of hoping the house would have some sort of creepy, weird vibe so I can do something about it or have some sort of experience, but it just feels good. It's fine.
That's good. That's a good
I know.
thing for once.
I know. Yeah, I don't think it's not haunted.
Well, I guess I can bring up the other day we were in visiting our nieces and nephew that we had gone for some sushi to go pick stuff up. And next to that parking lot was this house. It was called Casa Cross. I don't even know. It's just an old house. It was built in the 1800s. Eventually, my plan with this, I already took some photos, but my plan with this is to do some research on it, possibly see if I can call the people that work in there because I guess it's used as offices, and see if I can, I guess, get a little bit of a history of the house, and then also see if there's any if they have any paranormal experiences there and stuff like that, and try and get that on the podcast. But and I noticed that we say a lot, so
oh my god, this last episode was
really bad.
Yeah. I apologize, guys. I listened back, and then while I was editing,
you said it twice already and 3 times.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's bad. No, and I'm also trying to do it. Did I say it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to be more conscious of it and try not to say it so much. So again, like Michelle said, we do apologize.
I know we do it all the time, and I feel like it was probably more me than you, especially this last episode, because I was the one talking. And I tend to do it do it more when I'm nervous. And for whatever reason, I guess because it was personal stories or personal experience for me, I got really nervous as if I was being interviewed or something. So I said it, I don't know, probably a solid 1,000 times in just that one episode. I just thought about something. I mean, if you can get some information on that house, even better. If you can get us access to the house, would be super fantastic. But I was just remembering that on Sunday remember that group of people that I told you that I'm working with this one person. And okay, so we have little quote unquote field trips, and the last one that we went to was at cemetery. This next location we're going to on Sunday is called Pioneer Farms here in Austin, and it's super haunted. So the first time that I heard about this place was another podcast from a local person here in Austin. It's called the Night Owl Podcast. Impeccable. I love it. I think I told you to listen to it, Eric. If you are looking for another creepy podcast to listen to, the Night Owl Podcast.
But listen to us first.
Listen to us and then go over there and listen.
All right, guys. So I think that was enough rambling from the both of us. Let's jump into these paranormal stories. Let's jump into our first post from olderwiser_yeah_right from Reddit. So this is titled, "Could Mikey, the imaginary friend, be a ghost?" This person starts off, "I have 3 children. My oldest boy and middle girl are 3 years apart. Then 9 years later, we have a bonus kiddo, a boy. When my oldest was about 3, he had an imaginary friend named Mike. My son said Mike was his same age and he would talk about him quite a bit. We didn't think much about it. Mike stuck around for a few years. My son always blamed things on Mike like he was real and we would believe him. We never did. Then middle child had an imaginary friend. This time it was a little different. This imaginary friend was Maggie and 16. Maggie didn't last long at all, and we all moved on. We didn't talk about these imaginary friends and just carried on. Now my youngest just turned 5. He is obsessed with cars and robots, and when he names things, they are always names I never heard before. His stuffed zebra is Egeda. The chicken he named is Tugum. His favorite car is named Rick Rude. That sounds like a wrestler.
Right.
It goes on. Yesterday, he told me about an imaginary kid he met at the park behind our house named Mike. It freaked me out a little bit, to say the least. Could this be a ghost or just some weird coincidence? I have background in our odd house too. We have lived here 15 years now, and weird things happen from time to time. In one area of the house, light bulbs pop, probably just bad wiring. There is one corner of the basement that is weirdly cold all year, and where the cats stare at nothing. Likely just poor air circulation, and cats are weird. In certain parts of the house, little glowing bubble type circles will appear in photos no matter the angle, flash, or lighting. Then the weirdest thing ever. One night at 11 p.m., cops showed up at our house to say our phone line was calling 911. Our phone line was having issues, but no one called 911. They thought maybe it was a static line calling. We unplugged all our landline phones, and the line kept calling by itself. We had to cut off the line to get it to stop. My mom is a 91... My mom is a 911 operator, and she said she never heard of a static line calling 911. It is the craziest thing. Our house was built in the early 90s and has had 3 different owners, but as far as I know, nothing weird or bad has happened here. Maybe it was a ghost and maybe just present, or I don't know, or like something more. I don't know, like something that because each name also was it was Mike, Maggie, and Mike again, and it I think presented roughly at each person's age, or maybe the girl Maggie was a little bit older. I don't know. That's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've said this a billion times that kids are more sensitive to being able to see these things. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And don't kids always do that? Like blame the imaginary friend? Like, I don't know. Maybe I just want to believe this, that 90% of
Because
the
you work with
time
kids
no,
and they
no,
always
no,
blame an imaginary friend. Oh.
no. I think maybe if you know the kid, but like truly know the kid. But I was going to say, I want to believe that like 90% of the time that it's actually a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I know that some kids are kind of conniving. So this next one is by Potato Pixie 9210.
90210.
Okay. This one's by Potato Pixie 90210. My partner just glitched and it's freaking me out. Let me preface this by saying that there's always been creepy shit happening around me, and I have several stories of my dad's old house, which myself and my siblings all agree is haunted as fuck. I also had my dead best friend visit me twice, which was nice. So this evening, my partner and I were upstairs sorting laundry when his daughter called us downstairs as dinner was ready. I was heading down the stairs, my partner right behind me, literally 2 steps behind me. He did his usual thing of tickling my back and neck as we walked. The bottom of our stairs is wooden, so you can hear when somebody steps onto it from the carpeted stairs. When we got to the bottom, my feet hit the floor as usual. I turned to ask him something, and he wasn't there. He wasn't fucking there. I totally froze for a second and looked up the stairs, and there he was, on the top step, pale and shaking. I asked him what the fuck just happened, and he kept saying, I don't know. I was behind you, and before I hit the bottom, the next step took me back upstairs. We were very freaked out. Didn't say shit to our girl, as she's already leery of this stuff, although he and I are somewhat used to it. I'm trying to get up the courage to leave my laptop recording audio overnight because there's definitely something weird happening. And that's
Dude,
it.
this motherfucker is he's a jumper, man. I'm so jealous. I want to teleport so bad, dude. Like Like everybody talks about super strength, yes, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Everybody talks about flying, that would also be very amazing. But my super speed, like the Flash, that would be
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
That'd be pretty cool.
My power of choice, if you gave me the opportunity or invisibility, is something always people always say. My power of choice, if you told me you could have one power, teleportation, dude, I would probably still be late everywhere, but I could go
You
anywhere
totally
that I
would.
wanted. Because I would
You
like
would.
wait till the last second to go, like
Yeah.
teleport, and I'd still get there late or
Yeah.
whatever. But maybe touching the back of his partner's neck is what can
What
trigger that
does it?
shit.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I
That's
don't know.
crazy though. Yeah, I mean, I've only kind of, I guess, heard of people, or sorry, of objects
Objects
teleporting or
glitching.
glitching. And I mean, we've already read some stories of glitches in the Matrix. Well, I mean, there's
Hmm.
the one with the mom that we read a few episodes back.
All right, so
Next.
this is a post from apprehensive underscore rip underscore 752. Robbie was his name. The first ghost I ever saw. When I was at university in Australia, I took a couple of years off my studies and moved from Melbourne to Sydney to work in a not-for-profit or nonprofit. This particular not-for-profit had for years been given the use of a really old, rundown office in an almost derelict building. Thing was, it was in the middle of Sydney, so the location was great. We had little to we had little money to run the organization, so we were thankful for the space. One stifling hot and humid summer evening, I was working back really late. It must have been about 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was in a room at the back of the office. There was a long hallway connecting where I was working with the front of the office. Given how old the office was, there was no air conditioning. I had all the windows open to catch any breeze and try and stay cool. I remember working and sweating. Then it happened. I was typing away at my computer when I was suddenly encircled by a freezing cold. The temperature felt like it fell by 30 degrees Celsius in a second. I hugged myself against it. There was frost on my breath when I exhaled. It was 100% like the Sixth Sense. Oh, creepy. Then I shot up straight in my chair as I had an overwhelming sensation that someone was behind me. I knew someone was there, looking at me. Even typing this, I have the same chill pulsing through my body like I did that night. My first thought was that someone had broken in and I was about to be attacked. Spinning quickly around in my chair, I looked behind me, but no one was there. I called out to hear if anyone would reply. Nothing. I called my colleague's name, thinking that perhaps one of them had come in the office to work. Again, nothing. Slowly, I got up from my chair and started checking all the rooms of the office. I walked down the hallway to the front of the office to check if the front door was locked. It was. Standing in reception, I shook the feeling of uneasiness off as best as I could and started heading back down the hallway to recommence working. When I got to the end of the hallway, the same feeling hit me. I absolutely knew that someone was behind me, and they were looking at me. I froze and decided to spin around quickly to confront whatever or whoever was there. That's when I saw him. Oh, Jesus Christ, it had to be. He was a little boy, perhaps 5 or 6 years old. He was only visible from the head to where his legs began. His legs were not there. He was kind of see-through. I could definitely make him out. We made eye contact. No, son of a bitch. He smiled at me, turned to his right, and kind of ran off. Disappeared. I was in shock. I could not believe what I had just seen. I had worked in that office for months. Nothing like this had happened before. I didn't know what to do, but I no longer felt afraid. He was, well, I guess, a nice little kid. He just wanted to say hi, is what I thought. I then said out loud, "Hi there." You're fucking stupid.
Yeah, right.
He then said out loud, I then said out loud, "Hi there. I have nearly finished. I'll be heading off soon." I wasn't expecting a response and I didn't get one. I finished up and left the office, saying goodbye as I locked the front door. Months later, I was at a pub where several generations of people who had worked at the same nonprofit in that office had gathered for a kind of reunion. As the night proceeded, around the table, about a dozen of us retold our stories of the little boy that haunted the office. We all instinctively, unquestionably knew he was a young boy. All of their stories were as visceral as mine. It was then that I found out the little boy had been given a name. His name was Robbie.
Hmm. I'm telling you, little kid ghosts are just like a nope for me.
Dude, I would have jumped out the fucking window, man.
I know. Well, I don't know. No, probably. Well, it because I think there's like creepy little ghost children, but if he just looked like a regular kid and didn't
That's
give off
fine
creepy vibes, yeah.
until he smiles at you
Okay, you're probably right. Especially if he's transparent, but I don't know. We'll see.
and has no legs.
And has no legs.
And then he smiles.
And then you jump out
And
the
then
window.
runs off. And then he runs off and like I can
Slash
imagine him like
disappears.
yeah, like running off and like kind of giggling at the same time.
I think the giggles would have sent me over the edge. If there was like giggles, or if when he said, okay, like I'm almost done, I'm leaving, and like
Okay,
if,
bye.
yeah, like if it had responded, yeah, would have jumped out
No.
the window there with you.
But at that point you're already leaving, so you just lock up and you bolt. You know what I mean?
Run, yeah. So this next one is by EDS Alice. This place has more history than we know. Around the end of December last year, my husband and I were forced to move from our old apartment to a new one. We were being shot at, along with several of our neighbors, and couldn't be in that environment any longer. So we moved to a historic district of our local downtown area. The place we were renting now is a sixplex in an old historic house. I want to move into an old historic house.
Yeah, not a sixplex though.
Okay, that's true. The first night we moved in, we were pulling into the driveway and didn't have any curtains up. We looked up, and both my husband and I saw what looked like a long black robe and shadow walking through our living room. That's when you turn on the car, turn around, and say, never mind. Um, Walking through our living room into the kitchen and out the door. Of course, the door wasn't open, but the entity walked through our house. We both saw it, continued to be able to see it, and watched it leave. We didn't really think anything of it. How do you not think anything of it? How are you just like, okay, cool, can't wait to move in here?
They
I
must be
don't.
Harry Potter fans.
Okay, so since then, we've seen several other black shadows, tall ones, walking around our home. I've always been spiritually sensitive and have been able to see things since I can remember. My husband, however, is not used to it. I'm also not entirely sure that the shadows were tall, but they may have appeared tall because of the robe like appearance of them. We've been struggling over the past month with sewage problems and plumbing problems that have to do with the shoddy work from the plumber who was there before us. We haven't been able to use our kitchen or living room for the better part of a month and have been having to order takeout. It's getting quite expensive. The point of this is to say that we have been primarily living out of our bedroom. We've been seeing an increase in shadow figures. In the middle of a discussion the other day, I saw movement out of the corner of my right eye, and when I turned, I saw what looked like a pitch black figure on the door and a sort of upper body sticking out from the bedroom door. It no. It reacted almost as though it saw me seeing it and quickly moved out of my sight towards the living room. I audibly said, I see you, just to clarify that I could, in fact, see it. No, why do these people keep interacting with the ghost? So, forward to today, and the maintenance people on site said something to my husband. I got a text from him. We aren't yelling across the house. That's why we're texting, just to clarify. Okay. Saying that our house, to my surprise, used to be a nunnery. Suddenly, all of this makes sense. Everything that I've been seeing, everything that my husband has been seeing, all of it makes sense. I don't feel necessarily threatened from the things we're seeing because we're only seeing them and we're not experiencing anything outside of visual disturbances. But I thought that it was worth pointing out and bringing to the community. I'm a big proponent of learning something new every day, and this is a perfect example.
That's all well and good, but I mean, at that point, like too, if it's nuns, imagine you're trying to do a cleanse and you're praying or whatever to God and stuff, and then they're just like join, like they just like
You
form
hear
around you to
chanting.
join. Yeah, to
Ooh,
join
it's like a
you.
circle. Why is that
Yeah,
so creepy? It's probably like The Conjuring. No.
yeah.
What movie? Is it the Conjuring
The
movies with that
Nun.
nun? Well, and also the
There's
nun,
like
yeah.
the Nun, but yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
The Conjuring. I've never seen them. I want to see them, but I've never
There's
seen
going to be
them.
a part 3 coming out soon, so you got to watch part 1 and 2.
So, a Wednesday night I will never forget. This is a post by Carrie Mary, I think. Will never forget. Summer before 7th grade, sometime in July. Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. That is literally how those sentences, quote unquote, are written. The evening before, my family had watched the old school show. Oh, Unsolved Mysteries. I
Yep.
thought that was the name of the show. Um, I woke, but was it on at nights or was it on in the morning?
I feel like it was on in the mornings because in the summer
I
times when we
remember
would go to
watching it.
grandma's,
Yeah,
it was like we would watch like Great Chefs of America, Price is Right, and then like Unsolved Mysteries or something like that.
yeah. Unless like we were watching like the rerun from the night before, maybe. I don't
Possibly,
know.
yeah.
Anyway, I woke up in the night, lying on my right side. Jesus, this person. Awake, but my eyes still shut, completely silent. None of us ran fans back that None of us ran fans back then to aid in sleep. I was awake and basically waiting to fall asleep back to sleep again. However, decided to open my eyes.
It's pausing for dramatic effect.
Yeah, well. On the right side of my bed, right there, was a being. Guys, I'm literally gonna read this like they wrote it with all the commas, all the periods. So if you hear me pausing a lot, that's
Uh,
because it's literally how they wrote this. On the right side of my bed, right there, was a being, seemingly fixated on a plush bear that I kept in bed with me. And this being fit all the descriptions I'd ever always heard about or watched on television. Shorter, pale gray skin, and those awful eyes. Huge, black, slanted, staring at my bear right by my bed.
it's
Honestly.
supposed to be scary, but it's like funny because the way you're reading it. All right, go.
Staring at my bear right by my bed. Honestly. I cannot put into words how I felt right at the moment. I was only just about 12 at the time. At some point, I pulled my covers over my head and I felt an awful rushing through my body of super warm, then cold, then warm again. Only later in my life did I understand that I was most likely feeling shock. No, I couldn't scream. Felt frozen. Too scared to scream, maybe? What if I did scream? My mother and stepfather and two brothers would hear me. What the heck would they do if they came running into the room and saw this thing? What would it do? Is it going to kill me? Abduct me? What if it already had and they were returning me? All of these thoughts plus a million more just racing through my mind, my young mind. Ugh, awful. Just recounting it all and writing this story here. Again, how could I ever forget something traumatic like this? So, being such a quote unquote brave 11-year-old, and after what I felt like 12 hours, I decided to try and scare it. I decided I would thrash my legs up and down from under my covers as hard as I could. I know, horrifying. Haha. I was so petrified though. So I did this, then remained under my covers just waiting. Nothing happened. So I stayed under the covers. This had to be at least close to going on 2 hours from when I first opened my eyes and saw this thing. As I lay wide awake, I heard a noise. To this day, I still cannot explain exactly how it sounded. The sound felt as if it surrounded me and was coming from outside. It was crisp, clean sounding. Maybe mechanical, but maybe not. Lasting only 2 seconds. A sound I definitely had never heard before and definitely had not heard since. As soon as I heard the sound, something in my mind told me, oh, they're gone. As crazy as it sounds, I firmly believe that sound was their transportation leaving. Needless to say, I didn't sleep the rest of the night / even early morning. It took me so long to confide in my family about this terribly scary incident. Of course, they did not believe me. However, now, from time to time, my mother will mention it and suggest that maybe that's why I suffer from insomnia now. Very well could be. This is my first post here in Reddit. Feel free to share any thoughts. Also, my first time sharing this story publicly. Would be reassuring to hear any other stories of similar happenings. So yeah, I mean, it's I didn't mean to be disrespectful, but it was really hard to read. I mean, yeah, this sounds similar to some of the stuff that like Craig was talking to us about.
Yeah.
Just the sound and the sensations and stuff like that. I
Am
mean,
I imagining that he also talked about insomnia? Or maybe I read that somewhere else.
um,
I might have read it somewhere else.
um I don't know. Did he mention it? As we talked about so much.
I know.
Um,
Even
uh,
after that wasn't recorded.
yeah,
I will say, like, when I was trying to find some of these stories and I was looking at these alien encounters, I don't know, every once in a while I'll stop and think about, because it's kind of stuck in my brain that Craig said that I was essentially visited since childhood.
yeah.
And so sometimes, like, I'll think back, and another memory, I guess, like, popped into my head where I woke up with my feet on the pillow and my head like where my feet should be, and I was under the covers,
Mm,
but my feet were like on the pillow, as if I was tucked in a bed, but
wrong.
reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Like
that's
an
another
alien that doesn't sleep in a bed and they're like, how do we grab her? Was it, yeah, I think it was this way, and like puts you back
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I mean, he said that they like put you back, but it's not always
in the
right. Like,
same, yeah.
yeah, and that just seemed super odd. I mean, I'm sure I moved around as a kid, but again, to be like essentially tucked in but reversed, I was like, oh, that's another weird waking up position that,
Mm.
yeah, or memory that also like popped up in my head. But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Next.
I mean, would it be hard to believe? I don't know. I don't know if you told me like, maybe not now, maybe before, like if you said something like that, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of weird, but maybe not now. You know what I mean? I
Now
don't know if
that
that makes
you've
sense.
like heard Craig talk, or what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, like just hearing Craig talk and just every the other things that we've experienced and stuff. Like maybe if you would have told me something like this, like when I was younger, I would have been like, I don't know, dog. But now I'd probably be more inclined to believe it.
Well, no, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
I
just
think it also
because.
depends how you tell the story. If you
Hmm.
say it super calm or just very matter of factly, I think I'd be more inclined to believe you. But if you said it very just like if you're losing your mind, I don't know. I think that's when I would be more like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I get it. Well, I did that essentially to myself when I
Mm,
woke up in the living room, and I was like, and I just kind of thought, well, that was weird. It happened so many years ago, and it's still in my brain. It was weird enough that it stuck. You know what I mean? So, but I tried to just tell myself that it was like a weird situation, but maybe it was weirder than I actually thought.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal. I obviously didn't know about any of this either until Craig was kind of talking about it. And I guess as I've gotten older and read other people's experiences and stuff, but I never would have thought about it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I feel like Craig's gonna be your new.
My alien mentor.
Yeah.
Got an alien mentor and a psychic mentor. Then do I become the avatar?
Well, I mean, technically, do you have like two psychic mentors?
But yeah, I mean, I've had other spiritual teachers. That sounds like a cult.
That sounds good though. I like that, spiritual teachers.
Okay, well, but yeah, and it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not culty. I swear. But yeah, I've had other spiritual teachers before in the past who've been great, and I would love to learn from them some more. But man, just this COVID thing just really kicked everyone's ass. But
Yeah,
hopefully,
no kidding.
hopefully things will kind of start going.
Back to
I don't want to
normal.
say back to normal, because I know that normal was an issue, but I hope you guys know what I mean when I say back to normal. All right, next. Yeah, so this one, my bad, guys. I somehow didn't get the name, or I didn't copy and paste this name for some reason. But I'm sure if you typed a face in my window into Reddit, it would pop up. Um, so, a face in my window. I guess I had better give a little backstory. I'm sure many people have had paranormal experiences from a young age. Most Mine mostly started after moving to a tiny town. I was in grade 6 when my family moved there. Nothing too crazy happened there, though. Saw some eyes in my room in the basement once or twice. Saw some curtains move on their own. But that was kind of it. I don't know, man. It's not really normal.
Nothing
It's
too
pretty crazy.
crazy.
saw some eyes in my room.
Dude, I swear, some of these
Uh,
people, man. I mean, that's nothing too crazy for you. I mean, Mike, kudos to you for not thinking that's crazy. But like, if I saw eyes in the basement, the curtains
no, it's
moving,
just
okay, fine,
yeah,
maybe you
yeah,
can probably
yeah,
like, but eyes in your basement? That no,
yeah.
dude. Like, whoa.
Were they
Anyway,
glowing? Like, were they attached to a body? I want more answers on that. But
I don't know.
anyway, we'll keep going.
Continue.
Fast forward to 2010, living with my sister in a different little town. No other paranormal experiences since the one house back in 2000. I'm home alone, my sister is gone for the weekend, and I'm sitting in the living room playing guitar. Out of the corner of my eye, I suddenly see a face watching me from the porch window, and as soon as I turn my head to look directly at it, it's gone. I decided it was my eyes playing tricks and kept playing guitar. Suddenly, the face is there again, and once again, disappears. I again kept playing, but this time kept my head slightly more towards the window so I could focus without turning my head. Sure enough, it appears again, and I'm able to clearly see a gray face. Not much hair, skin looks leathery and wrinkled, and it's smiling disturbingly at me. No, thank you. At this point, I storm over to the window, suspecting it's a friend with a creepy mask. As soon as I turned my head, it went away again, though. So I flick the light on to see nothing. It's winter, so I go out into the front porch with my boots on. From the shoveled walk, I look and see no one to blame. But seeing no one to blame, I cross the fresh snow to the stairs, going to the second story porch, and there are no footprints on the stairs or by the window when I climbed up.
I don't know. This one I feel like could be that. What did it used to be called? They call it parad. What is it now? Pareidolia or something like that.
Oh, where you see a face in
Yeah, but what
things,
was it called
random
before?
objects? I don't know.
I feel like it was
Do you
called
want me to look
something
it up?
else before.
Mm. Seeing faces
It probably just gonna pareidolia is
in
probably gonna pop
things.
up.
Yeah, pareidolia.
In ghost hunters, they used to say something else when they would refer to that. Um, what the fuck was it called? It was it the something effect or like for me right now as you were reading that part, I literally so the way I have my setup right because I'm at my dad's house, right? At my dad's house in his den, or in his computer room, whatever you want to call it. And I have my computer set up in front of his monitor, so I can, and I have the light flash shining in my face for the video, and I can see my reflection in the computer monitor, in his computer monitor. And as you were saying the story, like I swear I could see my reflection reading what you were like mouthing what you were reading, and I wasn't moving my mouth.
What?
Yeah, it looked weird.
That is weird.
I mean, I couldn't see what it was saying, but I could see like the mouth, like as if the mouth was moving in my reflection. But I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't mouthing, reading along with you or anything like that.
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
And it was when you were reading that part of the that he was playing guitar and seeing the face in the window.
Yeah, I mean, I will say though, when we went to the cemetery, my mentor was saying that it's a lot easier to see things out of the corners of your eyes. They're actually a lot clearer, and then the moment that you
Mm,
turn to look at them directly, they're gone. That's why a lot of the times you see like, oh, I saw it out of the corner of my eye, because you're not focusing there. So it's, I guess, easier for things to kind of like manifest and whatnot.
mm-hmm,
And so yeah, she would always say focus past the center. Or how does she word it? Focus on your peripherals, or focus at a point in front of you, but pay attention to your peripherals because that's what
okay,
you're
I
really, you know
see.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, that
you
makes
have,
sense.
yeah, like look at a point in front of you, but what you're really, if you want to, or if you're trying to see things a little
It's like
clearer, it's,
slightly off center.
yeah, it's got to, they're going to show up in your peripherals. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's that kind of thing where it was popping up out of his peripherals, and then every time he would turn to
Mm-hmm.
try and look at it, it was gone.
So this is strange white-eyed old woman at the park by Thick Druid, Thick with two C's. So this definitely isn't the freakiest thing that has happened to me, but I've been thinking about it ever since. About 2 weeks ago, I went for a normal run on the trails I've been going to for a few years. The whole area is pretty wooded, but you can definitely see through the woods. The trees are thin and the grass isn't too tall. I decided to take a path I normally don't go, but have been to a few times. I was heading down the path and I started to smell dead animal. Oh, I hate that smell.
Ugh. Gross.
I'm not sure if it's what it was exactly, but it wasn't pleasant. I then see a disheveled looking woman kind of stagger out of the woods carrying a bag. I don't think much of it, considering we have a pretty big homeless population. And I thought maybe she was squatting in the area or something. I started to get closer to her, and when I got next to her, I waved and smiled. And holy shit, her eyes were white, no pupils, almost had a blue tint, like frosted.
Mm-mm.
She looked ancient and had red face paint. Think Viking face paint and very short white hair, almost a buzz cut. She pointed at me and said something. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're
I
cursed now,
couldn't hear
bro.
her. Yeah, I know shit, dude. I couldn't hear her though, as I had my headphones on. Her body language was almost approving. Like when someone tells you, hey, good job. She
Hmm.
kind of nodded and threw her head back and smiled. Like it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like one of those. You guys can't see it, but I know what I'm talking about. While I was next to her, I realized the smell was coming from her bag.
Mm.
It took me a second to process what I saw, and when I turned around to look, of course, she was just gone. Like I said, the area is pretty wooded but very open. If she had took off running or something, I should have seen her in the split second, even if she sprinted. Not even a minute later, my ex texted me saying he was thinking about me and asked if I was okay. When she when she talks about the sprinting, I think of like parody scary movies where like you look around in the immediate area, but then you pan off the camera pans a little bit more and you just see like someone sprinting through the woods like an idiot. That's kind of what I
Trying to get away.
imagine. Yeah, but anyway, it could have very well been a coincidence, but the timing of it weirded me out. I didn't really get a bad feeling from it, but who knows? I keep telling myself maybe it was just a crazy lady.
Like, yes, that's kind of where I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, you're probably right. It was probably just a homeless lady or whatever, but it's just when they disappear like that.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I feel like this is Austin.
When you're like, we have a super huge homeless population,
That's
I
yeah,
like
that's
in my brain was like, don't say Austin, don't say Austin. I mean, I live here, but I was gonna be like, is this person from Austin? Uh,
I thought it. So maybe you read my
okay,
mind because I
maybe,
literally when I read we have a whatever
yeah.
homeless population, I was like, Austin, is this you?
I mean, we have wooded areas. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is the second thing, just in this episode that me being age 6, and we both said 6, and then me wanting to say Austin, and you were gonna say, or you said it,
I was
but
thinking
you said it. And you're supposed to
it. Yeah.
say, I know.
No, you're
Jeez.
supposed to tell me you were thinking it, and then I tell you, yeah, but you said it, and then you say, I know,
But whatever.
because you said
Anyway,
it. I didn't say it. I just thought
you
it.
said it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No.
I
When did I
yes,
say
because
it?
at the end you're like, I think this person's in Austin, and I was like, I was gonna say that earlier when I read
Oh,
the see.
oh, my bad.
Uh huh.
Okay,
Uh huh.
I did say it. I thought it, and I said it.
Stupid.
Oh, jeez.
uh,
Alrighty, guys. So that was those are our stories of high strangeness. They're kind of some of them were pretty crazy grammatically, and
Stop being an asshole.
and
Jesus.
also
Fucking grammar Nazi.
just stories. I know, and I'm like the worst person because I'm horrible at grammar. But yeah, guys, these stories were intense. Which one was my favorite? The glitching one, dude. I'm telling you, that guy, he's a jumper. He for sure can I was gonna say teletransport because in Spanish it's teletransportar instead of just
Huh.
uh, now I can't
The
think of the
more
word
you
in
know.
English. Instead of just teleport. Yeah, like he for sure teleported. I'm convinced. You can't change my mind. He needs to learn how to do that and teach me
Yes, sir.
because
Get right on that.
the imaginary ghost one, I like that one too. That was kind of just because everybody saw it. I don't know. There was a bunch of good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of like what the fuck moments, like what are you doing, just get out of there.
Why are you talking to these ghosts? Why are you
Yeah,
okay with black hooded figures walking around your house?
exactly. And again,
Yeah.
and like you said last time, and I don't know why I do it, but like I imagine like the worst possible thing, or just the creepiest thing possible. You're trying to cleanse the place, and then these nuns just surround you in a circle, and they're like, yeah, we love this stuff. As I said it again,
But then it sounds like chanting, and it's just takes this eerie, twisted turn. I don't like it.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like seeing, shadow figures, but apparently it didn't bother this person.
True, true.
But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed those stories, we're going to continue to get them off of Reddit. We would also love to hear your stories. You can go to our website, brand new website. It's maybe 2 weeks old now. Go on there. You can share your stories on there. We'd really appreciate that. And you can also find the link to all our social medias. And you can also go onto any of the social medias and look for We Believe DU, and you should find our pages as well. So we streamlined it a little bit, made it a little bit easier for you guys.
A lot
Makes it
of it.
easier for me because I don't have to say every single one of them. But our email is webelievedyou@gmail.com as well. So if you want to go ahead and tell your stories, again, we do take them in Spanish. We really want to hear from you guys.
Would be super awesome if you follow us anywhere, whether it's social media or on Spotify too. You guys can follow and get notifications for when we release a new episode. And on Apple Podcasts, make sure you go on there, leave a 5-star review like this one from VM Longoria. 5 stars, says awesome show. It's more than two siblings talking to each other. It makes you feel like you're a part of the conversation, and you become drawn in more and finding yourself listening more attentively to what is next. Highly recommend this podcast. Check them out. Great show with great down to earth people. I literally almost cried reading that.
Well,
Like,
I'm
oh
glad
my god.
people don't find us annoying and find us down to earth and feel
Yeah.
like they're part of the conversation. That makes me feel good.
And that's not mom or dad, even though mom and dad are always, mom and dad always like calling like, oh, I want to like answer your all's questions and be in that conversation, and oh, I loved the story, and yeah, it's the cutest shit ever. I love it.
I
What?
literally get none of those phone calls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, guys, so like our friend here, VM Longoria, if you want to leave us a 5-star review, that definitely helps us get noticed on Apple Podcast. And by following us on Spotify, that helps us get noticed in Spotify. So follow us everywhere, like Michelle said. Click the like wherever you can. Leave a comment wherever you can. We want to engage with you guys and share your stories with us because we believe.
Do you?